And we're back. It's Geordie and the Baldie here with another excellent 1v1 Dota cast.
You're not wrong, Rich. We're going to be going into a game soon. Very exciting game. Noob v Noob here in the 1v1 annual mid-to-national.
Both players have about 20 hours of Dota. An exciting match. Sand King.
I believe Sand King has not been vetoed and been randomed for this game.
Pretty sure Vicky has about 7.
This is awful.
What is?
Gordon. And all of it talking to Connor.
Belligerent members of the crowd, mate. We can't ignore that.
This audience, ridiculous. Of what we have to work with.
10 hours between them, 20 hours between them. What matters? What matters is we're going to see some entertaining games.
What matters? Less than 300 hours. You're a noob at Dota. 300 hours. Ricky's still wrecking you.
It's going to be an excellent game today. Sand King versus Sand King. What we favour? I would love it.
I'm good for you.
Excellent. Crowd giving us drinks. It's been a fantastic night of Dota so far.
It's been an interesting night, I'll say that. It has existed. Time has been had. Right now we're stalling. And we're stalling hard.
We're just waiting for the players to get in the game.
Well, as long as the server doesn't crash, because it has a habit of doing that. Who's launching the lobby?
And here we go.
Is the game crashed yet? It's launching. Oh, it's good news. We're launched. That means we're in. We're loading right now, waiting for Upfront Solid here on the Dire. Bisk on the Radiant. Both will be playing Sand King. Both will be sandstorming out of their bonces. And Visk is the first person to load in. Will this give her an advantage or an edge in the game?
This is the finalists of the last place playoff match in the 1v1 Lank Holiday Dota tournament. If you want Victoria Findlow to win, make some noise. Lots of supporters in the crowd for Victoria Findlow.
They're all right at the back of the room.
If you want Nicholas Timmons to win, make some noise. Oh, some Nicholas Timmons haters here in the crowd. Unbelievable.
Some Victoria Findlow supporters got closer to the front in the microphone during that little segment there. Oh, it's an interesting audience we have here.
Fuck Timmons 2014.
It's apparent by this game. Victoria Findlow, a crowd favourite here, hoping for a second to last place placement.
Fairly standard item pickups there.
Worth noting, Nicholas Timmons, the current leader in the Gold Trophy tournament.
Oh, I must say, this is unorthodox. How will this fare for him? Only time will tell.
Let's check out the other Sand King's build. Oh, a much more reasonable build there from Victoria Findlow. She seems to know what she's doing. You see why the crowd love that player.
Yeah, you know, just standard picks, standard item builds, standard item choices, you know, I'm stalling.
So Mark, who do you fancy to win?
Personally, I'm going for Victoria, yeah. I think it's her game to lose. However, that's not to rule Nicholas Timmons out. He certainly is a bit unorthodox on his things, but that can always serve to catch you out. You never know what he's going to do quite then.
I've got to go for Victoria Findlow too. She's just got the goods that I think is going to win this. Come second to last in this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, it's all to play for here. Well, not last. 1 point for the Choco Bowl, though. I mean, that is a mighty big prize, and you don't want to be anywhere near that. Oh, early aggression. And both players.
From that though, taking a little bit of creeper ass, losing a little bit of health, really gaining anything. Let's have a look at the last hits. Oh, a last hit there for Nicholas Timmons.
Nicholas Timmons on the board.
He's out of the gate early.
Yeah.
Now, in an early point here in Caustic Finale, that could be an interesting build. The harass just fine. Nicholas Timmons last hit, it could actually sorry Findlow out the lane.
Well, that's it, exactly. Oh. Both players choosing to use their skills very early there. Nicholas Timmons with the Sandstorm, just giving some damage and harass. Victoria Findlow with the burrow strike back out of that, making sure they're not taking damage from that. Very interesting, very early aggression
Vicky
from
being
both
very
players.
generous with her mana, not really, but not this turn.
Let's hope both players realise that Sandstorm is channeled and you can't move while using it.
Ooh. Tries to get a last hit, misses it. On 1-0 here, 1.5 minutes in.
However, the caustic finale.
Oh, Vicky evens
good
it
bits
up.
there.
Oh, Nicholas Timmons with the 2-for-1.
2-for-1. That caustic finale paying off for itself this early point.
Incredible play there.
Both players very cautious at the moment. They go through fits and starts of being really aggressive and really cautious, not quite knowing what the other player's going to bring to the table here. Oh, and it's an
Nicholas
early
Timmons
burrow.
being very aggressive here.
Yeah.
He's going for it. Gets Vicky very low, but
Very
she
low.
manages to back out safely.
He tanks a lot of creeps as well for that, though. Back up to his tower. Tower biffs are starting to come out. That means the push is going to happen quite early. Go right back into mid here and see how this can equilibrium.
Both players here in the 1v1.
Ourselves here.
Very passive.
Very passive. But at the same time,
hello.
stark you abilities. Instant, I want to get in there, I want to biff you, and then almost at the same time, I really want out of this.
Nicholas Timmons doing very well in last hit. Over double what?
Oh, but you see this zone control here from Victoria Findlow there. Just like you want these creeps, you're going to have to fight through a lot of sand.
Unfortunately, not realising this high ground. Much harder for Vicky because she can't see you.
Exactly. Like she needs a periscope, but can't buy one in this game.
Periscope there.
Over staple. See it all the time in Smite.
Unfortunately, left out of Dota 2. Possible design flaw.
Could be. I'm sure if the fan base shouts loud enough for it, we'll get a periscope.
Let's go.
The crowd here love the idea of a periscope.
Check the shop, see if it's been implemented.
No.
Involved by Valve here.
On the Volvo, please, Fix.
The crowd are livid about the periscope.
On another last hit for... We could get many here. On Caustic Finale could get him about 7 last hit. Fish,
Last hit.
4 in 1! Unbelievable last hit techers!
Last hit's definitely in the favour of Upfront Solid here, but at the same time, XP going the way of Victoria Findlow. And they're just looking at the creeps, waiting for them to get right there.
Oh,
burrowed
Nicholas Timmons.
out of the sandstorm.
Oh,
there.
Vicky's in trouble
It's
here.
1v1.
Oh, gets very low. Manages to back out though. Vicky's falling very far behind here. I know we're only 5 minutes in, but she is a third of Timmons' last hits. I feel like she really gonna need a kill. That per last hit.
Yeah, I feel like most of it could be avoided if she's away from the tower, comes into XP range, you can get them, and then you can get them last hits. But at the same time, Nicholas Timmons is
Vicky
doing
very
the
low.
same.
Oh my goodness!
Big
Oh,
burrow
both
strike!
players very low.
Oh,
Who's
the
gonna come out of this?
sandstorm! Who's gonna win this?
Timmons-
Oh,
he
burrow
whips
strikes
the burrow
creep.
strike!
Oh, you hate to
Oh.
see it. He's tanking the creeps. He could go down himself.
Unbelievable.
Down to 18 HP there. Incredible scenes here in the Mid-International.
Shocking misplay there from Nicholas Timmons. He had the sand of victory in his hands. Unfortunately, he couldn't hold on to it and let it drift away.
What? Who would believe he is the king of sand? Both players here regenning up behind the towers, hoping, praying to try and get control of this mid area.
Nicholas Timmons sitting on a lot of gold here. He's not yet to buy an item. Wondering where he's going to go.
He is floating a lot of gold right now. Victoria Findlow just spends up hers as we mentioned that.
I must say, I'd much prefer Vicky. I think she has stuffered in the early game, but might actually bring it around before the timer ends.
Yeah, if this game goes to time, I feel like Victoria Findlow could eke it out if she gets back on the last hit game. However, Nicholas Timmons right now sitting in the lead.
We look at the net worth though. Nicholas Timmons is almost 5 gold in the lead, so he has.
Them extra last hits are paying off. Additional choices there. Nicholas Timmons just sitting on the creeps. Finn far back from the creep. Hits in there with the sandstorm, just to ward him off, say, get off these creeps, you know. These are mine.
Timmons getting an item delivered. What has he grabbed there? 2 clarities. Interesting choice right now. Go for a bottle, does not.
It's probably to sandstorm his balls off. You would have thought, if he was playing mid, you'd pick up a bottle, you get 650 gold, I believe it is, go to the shop, search box in it, you can type bottle, and then it will bring it to your attention. However, I feel like he might not know this vital information, so he's stacking clarities instead. Oh, he walks in,
takes a few tower
dangerous
hits.
Close on the tower then, takes a few bits for no reason.
Yes, unnecessary misplay there. It's what we've come to expect now from Nicholas Timmons, but hopefully he'll turn it around. His last hitting game though, at this level of play, actually quite good.
Nicholas Timmons
goes
winds
for
up for the epicenter.
This could be first blood. Oh my goodness!
First blood.
Nicholas Timmons with the first blood.
Epicenter.
Can Vicky come back from this? She's so far behind on last hit. She's given up the first blood. I think Nicholas Timmons is running away with game 1, Mark.
You know what? I don't even think it's so much Nicholas Timmons' play, just the fact that neither player's quite sure of what the other can actually perform.
All themselves.
Yeah.
Nicholas Timmons using his second clarity that was delivered, now floating 1,000 gold.
Oh, and the courier's bringing out a salve.
And the blades of attack.
Radiant's middle tower is being attacked.
Victoria Findlow.
Victoria.
Actually sitting on boots. Actually not that bad a choice against the caustic finale harass.
Yeah, you just want to get in there, get your last hits, and get out. Timmons there, sitting behind the Ancient. A very interesting defensive stance. If he was to lose the tower, he would not be in range for a burrow.
I feel like Timmons is playing a dirty game here. He's realised that we're playing at 50. Got the most kills, and he's now just sitting so far away he cannot be killed.
He could sit all the way back in his base though, but if Victoria Findlow was to biff the tower and kill it while he is not present, she would win because it's the first to either 2 kills or get the tower. That's
Dyer's
optional.
middle tower is being attacked.
Fair amount of damage to the tower. Does not realise that tower reveals stealth.
Yep, stands in Sandstorm right next to it. Oh, and Nicholas Timmons unfortunately
another
does
burrow
whiff
strike.
the burrow strike.
We actually saw earlier today, Nicholas Timmons forget towers reveal stealth and try to biff the tower as Rift.
Fortunately, Nicholas Timmons is new to the whole idea of invisible. Oh, and the man fighting each other here in mid.
Oh, great burrow
strike from Victoria Findlow.
Nicholas Timmons looking very low here. Can Vicky
Oh,
finish it off?
Victoria Findlow
taking
cannot
some tower
finish it off.
damage.
Unfortunately, she did not fully channel her epicenter, so she didn't actually trigger it. It does have, I believe, a 3-second cast time. Sorry, 2-second cast time. She had to cast that successfully. I think that was night for Timmons.
Unfortunate misplay there. However, Tim's sliver of health. So Vicky could use this chance to get a few last hits and catch up in the game.
If only Nicholas Timmons had kept that salve for this exact moment.
Excellent 2-for-1 there for Vicky. She's only 7 last hits behind now. I feel like this is the result of that early game build that we were talking about.
Yeah, that's definitely paying off now. The regen just to stay in lane, not having to ferry out the things like those salves, absolutely coming up trumps here. Another 2-for-1 with the caustic finale. Nicholas Timmons winding up an epicenter. Oh, who's gonna kill ya? Oh, and Nick. Unfortunately, Nicholas Timmons did die, but the effects of Epicenter continued, and Victoria Findlow took a second death to it. That's another unfortunate thing.
Of course, another unfortunate new player mistake there. Epicenter continues after the character has died.
A lot of these things aren't intuitive for a new player, because not many other things continue once you're dead.
But back to the main cam now. What are your thoughts on that last game?
Well, so far, I think that game was not so much either player's skill that was winning the game, more the other player's lack of skill that lost them the game.
Sometimes that is Dota though, punishing mistakes, getting yourself an advantage from those. Cannot criticise Nicholas Timmons' last hitting ability there. He was almost double Victoria Findlow. Incredible new player last hitting ability.
From the next game, I would definitely like to see a bit more belief in what you can perform. Less sitting by towers, more getting them last hits, getting the advantage, pressure.
Shadow Fiend is the next.
Oh, that's going to be a very interesting matchup. I will put it to the players now. Players.
Yes.
Victoria Findlow has vetoed Shadow Fiend.
We've got an axe.
So far it's Axe. Nicholas Timmons, it's up to you. Would you like to veto Axe?
No veto remaining. We're going to see an axe in this next. Oh, Watson.
Axe it is. Very interesting. I'd love to see how this counter helix plays on 1v1 man fights.
I actually think maybe the ability to level in this 1v1 fight might have been Battle Hunger. It's going to be a good ability as long as you can keep the mana going. Last hit in, especially in Victoria's side of the camp, not her strength. If Timmons was to lay that on, I think it could be a lot of trouble.
I feel like either side, put points in Battle Hunger, spam it when you can. Not often is that going to get removed. It's going to get quite a lot of length out of it before it's actually taken into account and taken off. Because I don't think I've seen either side perform a deny, so it might be left just 2 waves.
I think this could be an incredible game, Mark. I'm hoping this is going to take us to a game 3 as we've got 1-0 to Upfront Solid, aka Nicholas Timmons. And here it is, both players playing Axe.
Exciting scenes, incredible scenes. In the second game, as per usual, we have swapped sides. So it is Victoria Findlow on the Dire side. It is Nicholas Timmons on the Radiant. However, he has disconnected from the game. We'll be getting that back and underway shortly as soon as possible. Hopefully, if we can get some sort of professional assistance to Nicholas Timmons, who seems to have disconnected from the game.
No, we're in.
We were filling time.
Can you rejoin Nicholas Timmons? Right, well,
Okay, the game does need re-hosted, so if you stay with us, we'll be right back.
Small amount of technical difficulties there. Back to us in the studio.
Well, so, apart from the Battle Hunger, what do you think you'd like to see in this game from either player?
I would really like to see some serious dunking coming out from one Axe.
I think it's going to be a long time before we see serious dunking.
I do love a good level 6 Axel on a low health hero, killing them instantly, doing a lot more than the normal damage. A low health threshold.
That instant kill on the ult, once they have reached below a certain threshold of health, could be devastating. On the other hand, we only have the possibility of seeing max 3.
Indeed, but I do believe it's very important for these new players especially to take account of the excellent low damage threshold of Axel. You might want to mouse over Axel to find the low damage threshold so they know what damage threshold they will need to do an instant kill with Axel. Otherwise, it will whiff and do less damage.
Also, definitely. I would also like the players to realise that not only if they look at a player, they can only see a percentage of health, but if they click on that hero, they will get an exact number of health points they're on, so they can check the threshold of about where they need to be before they can hit them with Axel to kill them instantly.
Excellent advice there for the viewers at home. Okay, we're in the game now. Let's change over. This is game 2. Timmons is 1-0 up.
The game's
Hopefully
about to
Vicky can
begin.
take it to a
Just
game
try
3 in
not to
this
think of failure
exciting
and
series
all
of the
the ways you could
1v1
lose
Dota Lane
everything
Holiday
yourself
Tournament.
you feel weak
As
and
we
insecure
said
about.
before, we see Nicholas Timmons up front solid on the Radiant side, and we see Victoria Findlow, Visk, on the Dire side. Just to give you a rundown, viewers at home who are unfamiliar with Axe, the Q ability, Berserker's Call, is a taunt in a small AoE which forces people around caught in the AoE to attack them for a certain number of seconds.
Does it also increase armor?
One would believe that it does increase armor by a substantial amount, so you'll take a lot less damage there.
Wow, what an exciting ability. What's his W, Mark?
Yeah. So, W, Battle Hunger. what it does, Battle Hunger, you put it on the enemy hero, and they take damage over time for a considerable length, and it is only removed by either that player getting a last hit or denying one of their own creeps.
Wow, so killing a creep removes the battle hunger from yourself.
It does, and if you don't remove it, it does considerable damage to the opponent.
I would want to remove it if I was them.
Definitely. Now, what would be their E, however, it is passive, is Counter Helix. Do you want to explain for the viewers at home what Counter Helix does?
I certainly do, Mark. Thank you for asking. Counter Helix, in a small radius, every time Axe is attacked, he has a chance, I believe 17% as we're seeing on screen, to do a spin that does a certain amount of damage. That damage is physical. And overall, lots of many attacks, say standing in the creeps, will proc that a lot, and can cause quite a large amount of burst over a short period of time. Last but not least, we've got Axe's ultimate, as we've already described. It's a set amount of damage, but if the other hero is below a health threshold, it will instantly kill them, and also grant Axe a little bit of speed.
Now, as we see here, up front solid, straight out with the Battle Hunger, hitting Visk with that. Now, if you do get Battle Hunger on you, you want to get rid of that, because obviously, as we've said before, considerable damage. So last hitting and denying is going to be integral to who wins this early game here.
Vicky opting for a counter helix early. I think this is a great choice, as we've already proved. Nicholas Timmons has the slightly superior last hitting skill, so I think Battle Hunger won't do as much damage to hit. Receive.
Nicholas Timmons there tanking the creeps, hoping for them counter helix spins, which he does get, but he also trades that off with a lot of health lost.
See, and Nicholas slowly edging ahead on the last hit. It's already has free. Quite good for a new player.
Oh, one would think so, yes. Victoria Findlow just nipping inside of the tower aggro rage there, taking a single biff for not much of a trade. However, Nicholas Timmons is on low health here. If Victoria Findlow was to get a Battle Hunger off relatively soon, that would be a lot of damage. But same goes the other direction. In Axe v Axe, Counter Helix might be the saviour here to get in amongst the creeps, get those Counter Helix off by tanking the damage, and hopefully using it to get that Battle Hunger off you by hitting creeps. And the man fighting here on top of the diorama. But Nicholas Timmons just in time removes that Battle Hunger from himself, both on considerably low health.
Now, an interesting fact you might have missed here, Mark. Both have exactly the same item.
Interesting. It's possibly top guide.
Yes, but you might have seen the skill build different level 1, so who knows what's happening in the heads of players.
Well, possibly, I'm thinking suggested builds and nothing for the actual item builds, so they've gone for the same thing. And then, obviously, abilities aren't suggested.
Very possible. Oh, we've got a message from Stats. Decent. Both players are using Get Rip with the Beards build on the Dota 2 Steam Workshop.
High rated guide. I've used it myself when I was new to Axe. However, I think it could use a couple of tweaks, especially for 1v1 mid.
I tried to do it myself, unfortunately still ended up fat. Feel slightly robbed by the build, possibly false advertising.
Could be, could be. Victoria Findlow just removing that Battle Hunger there, tanking the creep damage, but would have taken more damage from the Battle Hunger, so good choice there.
We're actually seeing a much closer game in terms of creep rate. Only 3 creep scored between them at 3.5 minutes in. Not seen an item come out of either player yet, I believe. If they are floating a lot of gold, could we see? Oh.
We could see the elusive bottle. Both players are quite low on mana. Nicholas Timmons obviously popping a clarity there as the blue. However, could the bottle be of optimum use in comparison to last game? Obviously a bottle was necessary for the previous heroes. On Victoria Findlow whiffs the call, unfortunately.
Yes. There's a taunt on nothing there. Unfortunate for Vicky. She's getting lucky with the
Oh,
helix.
the counter helix!
Oh, she gets first blood!
Oh, you wouldn't believe it! She whiffs the call and then stands there tanking the creeps, which normally on most heroes would result in harsh punishment. However, it was those creeps biffs that helped her spin to victory.
She is a cunning player, Victoria Findlow. Nicholas Timmons underestimating the chance of random number generators doing him in that fight. It's unfortunate, but it's an exciting fight that was happened, and Victoria comes away with the first blood. Excellent game.
If things stay the same, this could go to a third exciting game.
I can see it across the room. Victoria Findlow now repping an 8-pack.
King of beards.
Tower is taking
Nobody gets ripped like Axe. Nicholas Timmons gets back to lane, stacks up on those tangos to keep his lane sustain going. Victoria Findlow with only one left, however, goes up front solid's face, tries to man fight him, but has to back out due to the battle hunger.
Vicky, worth noting, Vicky is flowing almost 1,500 gold right now, and is very low on health, but still wants to fight. Did get a lot of damage off though, couldn't pay off.
Yeah, unfortunately, Nicholas Timmons does whiff the call and dies
getting
hard.
very aggressive.
Oh, it's
This
incredibly
could be the game for
aggressive.
Victoria Findlow.
Playing
He's
ring
so
around
low.
the rosies
Is the
there
tower
on
gonna
the
finish him
dive.
off? It's the last game. Oh! It takes it to a game winning. In the microphone there, but as you were just saying, Nicholas Timmons versus Towers, 1-0 to the Towers.
Well, these are exciting scenes. However, they are leading us into a third game. This is very exciting stuff here. No vetoes remaining here going into the third game. We're excited to see what random hero we're about to get. It is Vengeful Spirit. This could be very exciting. Stuns, armor reduction, passives.
Swapping people in flowers.
Exciting stuff.
I do believe this could play to Timmons' weakness here, because a swap into a tower would probably ruin him as he runs around it and dies to it.
Yeah, he thinks he's taken a bit too much damage. Usually 1 or 2 hits after he's taken too much damage. That's what could be the end of him.
And with that bombshell, we're going into game 3. Who do you think's going to win this? I honestly think this is going to play into Victoria's favour. It's an aggressive hero, not so much focus on the last hits. Obviously, both players, even though they're new, know leveling passive pushes the lane. Therefore, if you were to level it, especially Nicholas Timmons, going to be under the tower a lot more, and therefore in the danger zone.
I would think this game should go to whoever handles mana management better. I think the players have to understand that their abilities, yes, they're very strong, but they're very mana intensive there. The stun, worth lots of damage, but also very costly, needs to be saved for when you need it and not just random harass.
Especially in the early game, obviously. As you're leveling up, the stun only goes up in mana by about 10 each level, but going to be having more stats to manage that. However, in the early game, it's only going to be doing 75 damage. Maybe not worth the mana to blow quite so much unless they're in a negative position. However, if Timmons was to try a tower dive like that again and was to get stunned on the tower, it's going to mean big damage on him.
I think the players need to keep in mind that the ultimate combo for this hero would be to use their ult. Now what their ult does is it swaps the 2 characters' positions so you can stand under your tower, swap them into the tower range, then turn and stun them, making them take maximum damage from the tower. I think if either player can master that, the game's theirs.
Ooh, players up. Damage, maybe not quite a good level 1 pickup, obviously due to the pushing nature we described before. However, Nicholas Timmons, a much better decision going for the stun. Get into trouble, you can just drop that, even though it is expensive on mana, and lose without taking too much damage. Much more respect to Nicholas Timmons here. However, we'll see how it plays out during the game.
To be honest, the stun can be as expensive as you want. It's worth that if it saves your life. It's definitely worth putting at least 1 point into it. Now, as we said before, this Vengeful Aura passive will push the lane. So, for example, Victoria Findlow will have to be hard on the denies here to try and keep the creeps in the middle and not permanently under Nicholas Timmons' power. So, just for the viewers at home, we'll give them a run through of Vengeful Spirit's skills.
Please do, Mark.
Magic Missile, it's her Q. It's a level 1 stun. What that means is it stuns them, Does some damage, but it's also worth a lot of mana, so definitely worth keeping up your sleeve.
But how long does it stun for?
At level 1, it stuns for 1.45 seconds.
Wow, that's almost 1.5.
That's almost 1.5. At level 2, it's actually over over 1.5 at 1.55. Now, what I think will make this one is Wave of Terror, her W. Now, what that does is it throws out a long ghost. Now, what that does is it reveals, it does a tiny amount of damage, but it also reduces armor. It's a fucking ghost, right?
A long one.
It's a long ghost. Right, have you seen Slimer going through walls? That cunt doesn't stretch, right? That's a long ghost.
He ain't got nothing on this. How much armor Slimer gonna reduce? 0.
Oh, and that's a stun early. Yeah.
Okay, Victoria on over less than half health right
Yeah,
now.
she should definitely pop a tango here, I feel. Nicholas Timmons drops the magic missile, drops the clarity, getting himself up to full mana so he can pop them as and when he needs.
Free clarity is very aggressive build from Nicholas Timmons.
Now, I'll be honest, this is the type of play I love to see. Early aggression, get punishing, get your mana up.
Obviously, another thing to remember is, even though attacks uphill have a fairly high, although it's less than 50% miss chance, spells do not miss uphill, so that magic missile is going to do a lot of damage if you a low up-downhill situation comes.
Oh, and Victoria Findlow pops the clarity there on up front solid. Unfortunately, it had reached its full mana capacity, so it was just on him. However, that's a very important tactic to remember, that even a slight amount of damage can remove a clarity from.
A reminder, did we see a bottle in that last game?
We didn't.
Could this be the one where either player gets a bottle?
I would definitely think both players should save up 650 gold, go into that shop, search for a bottle, purchase one, and get the courier to deliver it, so they don't have to leave the lane and therefore get full XP and gold at that time.
That would be an excellent decision by either of these players.
Not players, not far off that. Definitely should prioritise that. I don't know how much we should stress that. Oh, and Nicholas Timmons just edges out an advantage on the CS score. However, it's pretty much negligible right now.
Very close game so far. It's all to play for in this game 3 of the 1v1 Lang Holiday Dota tournament.
Oh, definitely. Victoria Findlow stationary there at the back, getting back into the range there, hoping for them creep balls, and unfortunately just missed the last hit. Nicholas Timmons attacking uphill, getting those biffs, getting those creeps, getting that gold that edges him ever closer to his bottle.
We do see one player on 650 gold. Will the bottle come out of the mark?
We actually see both players. Oh, and we do see a bottle pick up from one side there. Definitely a good choice there.
Excellent decision there by the player who bought the bottle. I think this is going to pay dividends later on.
I definitely think both players should pick up a bottle though.
In this 1v1 environment, just gives so much sustain in lane.
Especially if you can get them runes, you can put them in your bottles, which refills them. Very important to remember.
Also important to remember, while bottling, it's a 3-second duration on the regen, and any damage taken during that time will remove the effect.
Yeah, definitely. Do not get hit when you're bottled, folks at home. That will absolutely nullify that charge.
But wait, if I was to bottle all 3 stacks at the same time, would it stack on top of each other?
Unfortunately, it doesn't. If you use another charge of bottle, all it does is refreshes the duration of your initial bottle charge. You are best to use one, let it expire, then use the next.
Wow, maybe I should stagger those then.
Yes, definitely.
Excellent advice.
Interesting scenes here. We see both players picking up a bottle. However, Nicholas Timmons has left his in the stash and could use the courier to bring it to him, but he's chosen not to.
We're also seeing a slight experience lead from Victoria Findlow here. She has got her ultimate now. Could we see an excellent swap under a tower?
We could definitely see an excellent swap under the tower if the lane was pushed substantially under it.
At the moment, it is fairly in the middle. I'm hoping we could see some aggression at some point from either of these players.
Nicholas Timmons picks up his level 6. Extra
Oh,
points.
the stun on Victoria. Nicholas Timmons is going for it. Oh, decided to go for the last hit.
either Nicholas Timmons hasn't put his extra point somewhere, or he's put it in stats. No, he did. He put it in his last one. So now both players have swaps available to swap them into tower range and then stun to do a lot of damage.
Victoria getting aggressive. A little bit of harass there on Nicholas.
Yeah, it pushed them away from the creeps. Did very well. Secured them couple of last hits for Victoria Findlow right now.
He's only just behind on last hits at the moment. And slightly ahead on experience. I really feel that it's her game to lose right now.
I would say definitely that's the... she seems to be having a better understanding of what Vengeful Spirit can pull off. Once again, that is a stun with the Q. Vision, armor reduction, and slight damage with the wave, which is on W. And R, which is the swap, which changes your position with them.
Now, as we can see here, this Timmons opting for more points in the damage buff. His lane pushing towards the tower where he could get swapped underneath it. And Victoria's going in, she's getting ready, she swaps, she's in the middle, she attacks the creep. A tower biff on Nicholas Timmons, it's his weakness, he's very low, but manages to get away.
He gets away on just 135 HP, that was very good harass, very good damage. Keep in mind that swap has a relatively low cooldown of 45 seconds, which means it currently only has 25 seconds until it's back up. Basically, when you want swap, it's pretty much there.
Yeah, pushes Nicholas away from the creeps, allows Vicky to try and catch up. She definitely knows what she's doing in this matchup.
Yeah, definitely. Nicholas Timmons there, popping a tango, keeping himself in lane. When he uses the next one at the end, he can keep in mind that he can use his bottle, which will refill both health and mana with the charge. However, usually it is best reserved to fill yourself up with mana, because mana's a bit harder to come by than health.
Oh. Both players getting very passive right now, especially Vicky, who's hanging out at her tower, even though the creeps are far away. Completely out of experience range. Yeah. Oh, she swaps in! She swaps into tower range. Very dangerous play here.
It was actually
she
a
could
Nicholas
get something
Timmons
off, but
swap.
she walks away.
It was a Nicholas Timmons swap.
Oh.
Victoria Findlow actually did the smart play there and got away from the tower, got away from the danger. She could have got a couple of biffs in, done a bit of damage. However, safety is paramount in this 1v1 game, because you definitely don't want to take that first blood against yourself.
When you only have 2 kills, you definitely have to play it cautious.
Exactly.
Very low on health here, though. Needs to be careful. If I was Vicky right now, I'd probably use a ball for a bit of regen.
Yeah. Got 2 charges left. Keep in mind that bottle can be refilled either by picking up a rune or being back in fountain with the bottle. That doesn't have to be a hero. You can put it on the courier and get the courier to take it back to base.
Just in case the folks at home don't know, Mark, describe to me what a rune is.
A rune is a randomly spawning power-up which spawns at every 2-minute mark at either top or bottom. Around here and around here. That's around the Roshan pit or around the cliff on the top edge.
Ah.
Now what that'll do, if you've got a bottle, when you right-click the rune, it'll put it in your bottle, which will allow you to use it later when you choose.
Oh, very interesting. Might be good to refill a bottle then.
Oh, definitely. If you refill a bottle, you can use it again later for more sips. It's not a one-use item. What's important to remember, though, is if you do bottle a rune, when you use your bottle next, it uses the rune and not the bottle charges.
Ah. That is important to remember. Thank you for reminding me. And the folks at home.
Yeah, the folks at home are getting lots of knowledge about Vengeful Spirit and how to play her 1v1. Victoria Findlow here, opting to get some regen sent out. However, she still does have a bottle charge left, so can sip on that.
Nicholas Timmons not getting...
Victoria Findlow is probably shopping. If she clicks the shop button, bottom right, that'll probably close the shop.
Bloody women.
I believe she's stuck in the courier, Mark. If she presses F1, it'll change back to her hero.
And just like that, she regains control. That's probably a good decision on what's happened. The courier does seem stranded in lane though, so it might be worth sending that back
It's
home.
a shocking coincidence. It's a good job these players can't hear us in their playing booths.
Definitely. Nicholas Timmons has picked up a regeneration rune, and what he's going to do with that is when he's very low, if he uses that, it will completely refill his health and mana.
Let's go, bitches.
It's always been that.
However, if he takes damage while using the regen rune, then that's him. We're not using it. Victoria Findlow gets... we'll see double swaps here. She had a stun the entire time and could have chose to use that.
Oh, both players very low. If either player had have stunned there,
was a great
it would have been
Chinese
good night.
I think both players definitely need to remember that they have stuns. Them stuns do a lot of damage. It's called Magic Missile for a reason. It hits you like one.
But what button should I press if I wanted to use such a stun?
If you wanted to use such a stun, you press Q, then you click on the hero or target. Preferably not creeps. Always the hero in 1v1.
Excellent advice for the viewers at home.
Questions?
Got some crowd participation here.
We've got hecklers. Let's open it up.
Oh, hang on! Here's some aggression! Nicholas Timmons swaps it to the
Oh,
It's the
first blood goes down to Victoria Findlow dying there.
Absolutely delightful play there by Nicholas Timmons. Only 4 minutes left in this game and he takes the first blood. Vicky's facing an uphill battle here at that extra chocolate point in the last place playoffs. Now, while nothing's happening, we've got a question from the crowd. I believe it was the guy there with the lesbian hair.
How would you get vision of runes?
Vision of runes, good question. What do you think?
Definitely. I think what the players can do is either buy observer wards and put them down around where the runes will spawn. However, that does seem to cost a lot of gold. So what they could do on every 2-minute mark is they could use a wave which does give vision, which is the player's W, to scout out the runes and see if it's either top or bottom.
Now, of course, everyone at home probably knows, but just to go over this, if you were to scout one of the runes with that method, the top rune's much closer to the middle lane than the bottom rune. So it'd be much easier to reach the top rune with a howl and see if the rune's there, and then it means walking time.
Exactly. So if you're, for example, just rocking around mid, you're getting the creeps, you're getting the XP, you see that clock at the top coming up close to, say, 14 minutes, then what you want to do is you want to go towards top, wave across where the rune would spawn, and then you see, is it 14 minutes? Is there a rune there? No. If not, it's bottom.
You actually see Vicky's bought some wards here. Interesting choice, especially when she's so far behind. 150 gold spent on that will give her rune vision, but possibly maybe better with something that's going to give more stats to fight with. And she's just walking back,
she just
taking
gets
the house
swapped
here.
in by Nicholas Timmons here. Both players harassing with swap. Oh, and that's a great swap into tower. However, she's running away from him. I don't understand where.
Oh, this could be it. Oh, and she's dead.
Oh, and unfortunately Victoria Findlow has died. Both players there seemingly to completely forget they had stuns for
Yes.
most of those exchanges.
Absolutely extreme misplay there, especially from Vicky. Managed to get Nicholas into tower range, but forgot to stun. Probably under the pressure of the situation. Very understandable mistake. Therefore, letting Nicholas Timmons walk out of tower range and kill her.
Yes, unfortunately, that does mean Victoria Findlow is last and Nicholas Timmons comes second last and gets that also important bonus Choco Ball point.
Yes, that's 1 Choco point, 2 and 2 Choco points. Nicholas Timmons. Exciting game today.
Very much so, very much so. This will put the leaderboards in interesting stands because currently Nicholas Timmons is the leader and getting them only 2 points out of this tournament could mean disaster if he wants to take the Choco Ball engraving and put his name.
And that's it for this game. I've been Richard Taylor, aka Baldie.
I've been Mark Watson, aka the Geordie.
We've been Geordie and Baldie. Thank you and good night.